What is up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I am back with an all new review of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I am so freaking late, y'all. I am. Forgive me, but y'all, this reunion was not a reunion. It was just covered in fluff and reads and not so much reads. And it's like, I'm ready for the season to be over. The conclusion of the second part of the reunion is airing this Sunday, and I do feel like we're not gonna dig into what actually happened this season. It's gonna solely focus on Ralph and Drew, okay? Because I feel like I'm not even gonna go in order of how my notes are, because everything was just covered in fluff. We didn't get into anything till the end of this part. I mean, Drew and Ralph are still living together despite everything, despite the divorce, and despite Ralph, who says he got so much going on, he is just as important as Drew. Then why isn't it easy for him to live in another place? Because he knows how it will look. So he can miss me with that. Um, Sheree lying. Every chance she gets, she lies, because we've seen many faces of Sheree this entire season. Now that everything has healed, she's looking very well rested, okay? But her truth about wanting to change her nose was because she had trouble breathing and she wanted to do a little tweak. Lying about how this was her first tweak. Girl, good night and goodbye. Your face was looking puffy. You was giving Hazel E. Okay, so you can miss me with that shit. And why would you lie about getting your face done? Why? We can see your face. We have seen your face before you decided to mess with your face, Sheree. You can miss me with that. Sanya is 4.5 months pregnant. She's due on Christmas Day. 9 times out of 10, she probably won't even make it to Christmas Day. In my experience, the second child always comes faster than the first. So she might have the baby a week before Christmas, because my daughter was supposed to be due November 30th, but she came November 25th, the day before Thanksgiving, okay? But hey, it's up to you, all right? Now, Sheree's package, it was pretty much about her fake relationship with Martell and how she wanted to make her brand a priority, but she never did. She's focused on everybody else's problems, but not hers. And her coming out party being a grandma, and finding out that Bob had a secret daughter without realizing, did she know about the secret daughter? When did that happen? The kids have met her, they've been around her, but she didn't know. She did not assume that the kids would tell her, because it's not their responsibility. It was Bob's responsibility. But I think at some point, Sheree knew about Bob cheating on her, hence why it wasn't a shock to anybody that he might have cheated on her before. But maybe she was complacent into where she was with Bob. She didn't decide to question it. And she convinced me with saying that she didn't care, and that the reason why her kids never wanted to tell her, because she knew she didn't give a fuck. I cannot tell, Sheree, because at your coming out party, everybody was questioning whether or not, is that Bob's girlfriend, is that Bob's daughter, who is that? You did not know who she was. You've never seen her before, but that was the reason why you had Martell come, because you didn't want to be by yourself, because you wanted to one up Bob by having somebody, because you assume Bob brought somebody with him on a romantic level. So it's like, grow the fuck up. I said it in my last review. You and Bob have been divorced for years. Why do you feel the need to want to one up him by you having a man on your arm? Sheree looks for validation so much when she got somebody on her arm. She don't care if you talk about her business, but you will not say she don't got a man, because that's all she looks for and cares for, is having a man. No matter if the man is from jail, if the man is a piece of shit, she don't care as long as she got a man. Girl, good night and goodbye. That was the first time that Bob and Martell have met. Bob has been in the chateau multiple times. He never wants to leave. Why is that? I don't know what type of relationship her and Bob are having right now. I really don't care. Moving on with that. Kenya has made comments about how Bob and Martell are cut from the same cloth. They're the same kind of man. Womanizers, liars. Yes, all those things and some, because from what she has seen and heard from Martell, what she has seen and heard from Bob, they are the same kind of people. Exactly. And Sheree, your type is an asshole. That's your type. Just like Kenya said, let her have her own dating show called Watch Me Date These Dumb Dudes. Okay? And when it came down to looking at the many faces of Sheree and how your face has changed so much, it was also a moment on a specific picture that you looked like Drew. And also, people have said you were giving Hazel E at one point. And Kandi said, yeah, the way that the hair was presenting, the makeup, it was giving Drew. Now, Sheree wants to be nasty and catty, by saying that was one of her worst pictures. So if you want to say I look like Drew, then you're basically saying that that was Drew at her worst. That's an ugly picture of Drew. Like Drew is ugly. Sheree, fuck you. Okay, fuck you, fuck you. Why will you never admit that Drew was an inspiration for you, but you want to claim and take credit that you were the inspiration for her sister's mental retreat? Okay, good night and goodbye. Um, you say that Martell got big D energy, but how do you feel about him slanging this big D energy all over Huntsville, Alabama? Come on, whoever wrote that. Let's come up with the tea. Let's come up with what's been going on in the Huntsville streets, okay? She said she pulled back from Martell because he was always pulling her in his mess. If he's always pulling you in his mess, Sheree, then you knew what mess he came with when you got with him. Because you defended him till the cows came home. Whenever someone wants to tell you about Martell, especially Kenya, when she has actual not footage, but actual insight and information about Martell. You keep on saying, y'all trying to spin this narrative that's not true. He has never treated me any disrespectful kind of way. He's been a perfect gentleman to me. Girl, bye. Girl, bye, girl, bye, girl, bye. This man has been in and out of the blogs. We've seen the way he's acted on television, off television. So you can miss me with that. But you've already said it before, Sheree. You ignore red flags. Okay. I loved that Kenya mentioned the revenge P that was going against Mayo. And she's like, what? He was trying to revenge a P tape on his ex-wife. Here goes Sheree. Oh, I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know. I don't know. Girl, good night. It's very much true. Marcel has admitted that he has threatened to release it on Melody more than once. So you can miss me with that. All right. Boom. Okay. Why did Kenya wait so long to tell Sheree about Martell sliding her DMs? First, she said it was because she didn't think it was serious. She thought it was casual. They were just around each other having fun. She ain't gonna take this fool serious with what comes with him. But turns out after it was announced that that's her man, her man, her man, then she went to be a friend and tell her about the DM. But the thing about it, didn't Sheree tell Kenya he already told her? So why did you act like it was such new information when Kenya told you? Make that make sense for me. And Kenya did have another ulterior motive for bringing onto the show because we're filming a show. And we're going to talk about all the rumors and all the information that we get while filming the show. So she did her job, okay? Um, and that part I didn't like. And it's so funny how Sheree carries such high expectation of wanting to be informed about something, but she always goes below the belt and says Kenya never has a man. She can never keep a man. Girl, bring a man with you next time. How was it that you're her friend and she thought so much of you to let you know the man that you're about to bring yourself involved with, he's not a good man for you, but you want to always go against her and defend the man. Sheree is so male identified. She's so male centered. It's not even fun. You can't say shit to her if it's not pertaining to a man, because that's when she's gonna have all the energy for you and whatever. And as far as for wanting some man, Kenya said, I don't want just any man. I don't want a man who cheats on me. I don't want a man who gets aggressive with other women. I don't want just that. That's you, man. That's you. Now try to connect with her and Roy. Her and Roy are not exclusive. She's casually dating. That's what she thought about you and Martell, but you guys weren't. You wanted to be more exclusive, but he was never claiming you. So you can miss me with that. What bothered me the most about this entire reunion was how much of the snickering and the cackling that was happening on Sheree's side of the couch, especially from Marlo. Marlo was saying a whole bunch of shit under her breath that pissed me off at every turn. Um, I think Kenya said it's hard out here. Drew made another comment by agreeing with her. It's hard out here. Sonya was looking at Drew funny, like, what you mean, Drew? What you mean it's hard out here? Sonya looks for ways to always want to go negative with Drew. It's like she always does this. She's done this since the season she started coming on the show. She's always looking for something to come after Drew about, which is annoying to me. I want her to sit back and be pregnant. Kenya's divorce, not final. Mark wanted to hold her in contempt because he's claiming that she's preventing him from seeing his daughter. Lies. And he's also filing for her against her putting her daughter in harm's way because Marlo was kicking down the door in Birmingham. Marlo apologized, but it wasn't a direct apology to Kenya in Brooklyn. It was just for the sake of her apologizing so she could be seen on camera apologizing, but it wasn't for real. It was all bullshit. And then when you say it's because Brooklyn was in you and Kenya's bullshit, that's a crock of bullshit. Because you were starting with Kenya that entire time and that entire trip. You kicking the door, calling her middle name. Both you and Sheree were going back and forth with knocking and kicking and banging. And when she said, "What the fuck is wrong with you? My child is here," they were telling you her daughter's in another room, which you know for a fact that Kenya brings her daughter everywhere she goes. You know that. It should not surprise you nor shock you that Kenya would not have her daughter with her. Then you also said, put Brooklyn in another room. Some Monty you are. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. Um, Now Kenya, your attempt to serve Marlo the subpoena papers were flat. I was embarrassed for you. Whoever was in charge of giving me the paperwork needs to be fired. And why didn't you double check what you had when you brought it out on stage? Now, that was a flat moment for you. I was mad it was a flat moment for you, but you decided to go to the internet and you tweeted the actual subpoena that was sent to Marlo. Marlo has not come out and said she got it, but maybe she did get it and don't want to say nothing. But man, that was a flat moment for you. I did not like that, okay? Um, then, while she is still going through the divorce, she was able to get a subpoena of Mark's phone records and notice that Marlo's number was in a recent line of contact. She was in his phone records. Why, Marlo, are you calling Mark? Why? Mark told Kenya you was calling him to get information on Kenya, which I believe. And the reason why I believe it is because I think on the after show, Kenya was talking about her last straw with Marlo. There was an issue with her au pair. Marlo thought she was doing something by talking to the au pair about Kenya or expressing to the au pair that Kenya was talking about her, but she was not talking to the au pair. She was talking to her assistant. Her assistant ended up telling Kenya exactly what Marlo was saying, and that's why Kenya has had it up to here with Marlo. So it's not surprising to me that she called Mark 2 years ago to get information on Kenya because Marlo looks for ways to come after Kenya. Did y'all notice in Marlo's dressing room that she had all these affirmations or positive things to say on lists on numbers of I think from 1 through 10, she had something written down. On numbers, I think 2 and 3 or 3 or 4 was about Kenya. Her remembering to come after Kenya, either about how she's not a star, she don't have this. It's like Kenya lives rent free in Marlo's head. Okay. Like I said, at this point, Kenya's done with Marlo. Done, done, done. Okay. And then we talk about Sheree's birthday party. Who was invited? Who paid? Not Martell. He didn't pay. And um she deflected with that whole situation because that was a hot topic to talk about, but then wanted to say after she said she has an interesting relationship with Bills, she wanted to bring up Drew and Kandi after you have just admitted on camera you ignore and duck and dodge. Bill collectors calling you. They call you, you tell them they'll have their money when you have the money. Don't know when that happened because you always ignore their calls. And you wanted to bring up 5 years ago when some man named Johnny wanted to sue Kandi about stealing the idea of the OLG restaurant, with knowing OLG restaurant is based on her aunts, okay? And then the OLG old lady gang term came from Cynthia. So you can miss me with that, Sheree. Good night and goodbye. And we saw the whole rundown of how the restaurant got created. Like everything went directly towards Kandi this season. This reunion. All from Sheree. Why was Sheree going so hard on Kandi? I can't understand why. And saying how I've never been sued for not paying people. I've never stolen an idea. Hey, Johnny, girl, as far as you never been sued for not paying people, girl, you might want to not speak so clearly about that because there's somebody out there right now that's claiming you have not paid him for creating your looks on your runway show. So you can miss me, okay? Because all those looks that we saw on the runway show last season have not made it to the internet, okay? She's bringing receipts that she paid her stylist. What was paid for was the reimbursement of what the man spent for your looks, not the entire process of how much this man was actually owed when he was told to make your looks. That's what was owed, okay? Now it makes sense why everything was confiscated at the last reunion, because she did not pay for those. She did not finish payments on them. That's why. I said the same thing. Sheree does not know how to handle business. She does not know how to run a business. You try and draw a correlation from Kandi store tags to your brand. And why are you so mad when she's mentioning how the runway looks we saw are not on the website? Because they're not. They're not. There's a gap there. You did not completely pay the man who made the looks. That's what happened, okay? Saying how you need to worry about your greasy ass floors. You're in a restaurant. Everybody's frying everything. Oil's gonna be everywhere. You're gonna have greasy floors. At least you can come inside and see the floors. I can go on your website and see the runway looks. I can't do that. Get out of my face. She can't come for Kandi. I mean, as far as trying to come for Kandi on a successful level, she can't. She can't because Kandi's successful with everything she does. Sheree, you're not. Okay? Then she was struggling to read, like Kandi was struggling to read. The whole squats, not shots. Kandi was fumbling, trying to say that. You put your shots in your face, which she did. Here you go. Bitch, you could never. And bitch, what? Look at me. I'm like, Sheree, sit your old ass down somewhere. We know you're fabulous. You have a gorgeous body, but your face, ma'am, it's melted wax. Stop, 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 stop. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Sit down. Okay? You are obsessed, okay? Kandi has had tags for over 14 years, has been very successful. That's the one thing you cannot come at her about, okay? It took you 14 years to finally get Shevice off the ground, and it hasn't come off the ground, okay? And the line about the nose job. Girl, you've had multiple nose jobs. Get out of my face. Oh, Lord have mercy. Talking about shootings. Your business have had shootings. And what is it now today? And why are we not talking about Marlo's nasty comparison from her nephew being killed versus Kandi's nephew being shot in her restaurant? Why are we not talking about that? That should be talked about, okay? So then she brings up She News, tired Gazette she made, all about Kandi. You took time and money you don't have and ink to make 6 pages of Kandi, and it was just negative reviews about Kandi. Negative. The shootings, the reviews about her not passing the inspection, and the tags. Like, girl, Kandi has not claimed to be a designer, ma'am. She's a boutique owner who sells clothes from other manufacturers, from other brands, and puts her own prices on them. That's not the same thing of what you're doing. You want to be an original designer, but you don't have original designs. So as far as saying this could go for $9.99 on Shein and you pay $75, yeah, she can. Because everybody pretty much does the same thing. Everybody orders wholesale from other places, slap a price on it. You could buy it or you don't buy it or go anywhere else to pay for it. Other than that, people are going to pay for it. Your shit, however, nobody wants to pay for an overpriced tank top, an overpriced wrinkled hoodie. Nobody wants to do that. The shit we can get from Shein for $10, the shit we can get from Amazon for about $25, the shit we get from Target for about $35. Girl, get out of my face with that. Good night and goodbye, ma'am. You can go away. You really can. And you still have not made a profit on She by Sheree. Because you're not doing your business right. You're not marketing right. You are not paying the people to run your shit right. You're not. Okay? So you can miss me. Then she had another lame prop after the Gazette. She had an ugly green bag to give to Drew because Drew said she never got a bag because she couldn't give away those bags because she didn't finish paying them off. An ugly green duffel bag. But had Kandi open it, it was a slate card for Ann Scene. Whack, whack, whack. Lame, lame, lame. Drew's storyline was talking about her song written by Ralph and wanted to take over the world with Ralph. Then she filmed the music video. Then she started a movie for Kandi and Ty, The Past, streaming on Peacock, a very good movie. All right. How was the process? It was a very aggressive process, but a cool process. You know, filming for 10 days, that's a lot. That's an aggressive format to film a movie, but I enjoyed it. The trailer was good. The food was good. The whole entire thing was excellent. But, Drew, you had very low expectations of the movie being good because of how long it's going to take to film and is Kandi and Todd. So you was kind of like, if I'm not doing another movie like this, that's not Lifetime or above, I'm passing on. Now, I did say, Drew, you're wrong for shading the fact that you cannot do a movie like this because of where you are in your acting career, but don't shy away from doing independent films. But that can still put your ass on the map. Now, you have been on the map. You've been working at such a young age. So you have a huge resume of all the work you've done. And you kind of have the ability to pick and choose what kind of role you would take, what kind of role you would pass on, and how much you deserve to take on for a role. I got that. But don't cut off your connection to Kenny and Todd so fast, because we're not going to act like Todd does not know what to do when it comes to film and production, as if Todd has not made great TV. He did Hollywood Divas, R&B Divas, my favorite reality TV shows. Okay, I ain't got time for that. So you can, good luck try to find another independent movie to do that'll pay you for what you get paid for. All right, good luck, good luck. So that was that. I wanted Marlo to shut the fuck up because she kept on saying too many comments under her breath. Shush, shush, shush. Um, then her and Kenya went back and forth because Kenya did shade her music video by saying it was giving low budget Beyonce blow vibes. But then it led to Drew shading her about her one final role, one and only role, Toi, which is not the truth. Kenya has had multiple roles. She has done things recently, but damn, Drew, like, y'all shaded for shade, okay? Kenya apologized. She thought that she was being funny while giving a little bit of shade, but Drew didn't like it. She apologized. Drew was still trying to hold over her head, but at the end of the episode, Drew tweeted an apology to Kenya and that they wanted to have a conversation to sit down and discuss their friendship. So they can pretty much discuss the boundaries of where they are in their friendship and what we should not do to hurt each other. Fine, I'm okay with that. Then Kandi being called a liar, being a candy coated lie, trying to come up with a narrative to promote the movie about Drew being in a relationship with a woman when the movie wasn't even existing at that time. So, Drew, I didn't like that you said that. I don't even like the dungeon comment that you made. And just going back and forth with how it's a lie. I was told to go along with it. Kenny did not imagine it. She saw it. Then on an interview, she was jokingly saying, "Hey, if I saw it wrong and read it wrong, my apologies." That was to save you because you were going through a lot in your marriage. And she was trying to give you a leeway, a way out of not dealing with that. And you'll deal with it when you can, but you want your marriage to be a priority. That's why she did that, okay? It was to save you and be a friend to you, okay? But you just brought it back up on the show. Well, yeah, because they were talking about kissing girls, and it was mentioned to Drew, and then she went back and forth about not kissing Toya, and Toya is the one who keeps on changing the story. She said she did, then she said she didn't, then she said she did. It's just like, oh my God, good night and goodbye. I don't care. All right, even though Drew, you admitted on the reunion that you have kissed a girl before, but you went into this season saying, I've never kissed a woman. Why you gotta lie? Stop lying, okay? And talking about how I was told not to ruffle any feathers with Kandi because she got 1 million followers. That don't mean nothing, okay? Stop that. Stop that. You just want to hold on to the sanctity of marriage because you feel like a married woman does not act in certain things. She does not partake in certain things. But girl, leave it alone. There is no ideal look of what a married woman should act or be. Good night and goodbye, okay? Marlo switched up because she now is 80% unsure that she kissed the girl because Drew said, "Oh my kids, I never did." I ain't got time for Marlo. Um, Drew lied. Okay, Drew lied. Drew lied. Drew lied. Point blank. Period. But what I didn't like was that Kandi was so assuming that Drew would lie about her sister having a mental illness because on the speak on it, even though she asked Drew on the after show that I wasn't believing you when you said your sister had an illness because you lied so much, so I wasn't sure. But the way that Kandi would say her sister did not look like she had a mental illness, didn't like that Kandi did that. And she got the proof that Allison did have a lot going on when she told her story. But it still didn't sit with me that Kandi will hold that, but I understand why she did it. And then from that moment on, Kandi has changed her whole stance about being on Drew's side when it comes to Ralph, because the way that Kandi has felt gaslit in the moment of me acting as if I did not see you kiss a woman when I know you did, and I know you've lied as well. I for sure believe you have gaslit Ralph. Kandi, I'm not agreeing with you with that. She has not gaslit Ralph. She can't gaslight Ralph. Ralph has taken on a whole bunch of tricks and tools to avoid being gaslit. Okay, hence why he did not want to go to therapy. And she didn't even know what gaslit was until she read it on the dictionary last season. So I understand how you felt in this moment, but you saying how your story has changed about her, you not being on her side with Ralph, didn't like that at all. No, no. And then Drew, wake up. You are not in the land of milk and cookies. For you to say, are we good? No, you're not good. You just stood there and called her a liar. After all this time, you're not good. But Drew put out a tweet for her and Kandi to have a sit down to discuss their friendship. Kandi has agreed. We're going to move on. And she still wants to know, what lie has she told? Yeah, I've lied about my weight. What else have I lied about? In 2021, you kissed a girl. In 2023, I have never kissed a woman. A small lie that didn't even to be a small lie, girl. Who gives a damn? Moving on. I am not discussing Marlo's segment. I don't care about Marlo. She had nothing going on. But what has been called out is Marlo's body shaming comments, okay? Especially towards Drew, okay? When we have known you've been under the knife as well. That's not the point, Marlo. For you to say everybody has had work done, so why isn't it on me? Because, Marlo, whenever you are in an argument with somebody and they call you out for what you did wrong, the first thing you do is go after another woman's body. And you went after Drew's, knowing that Drew has had 3 children. She's had some body work done, and she's had some body issues. So stop. Stop, 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 okay? Marlo, you're so fucking lame. Here you are going back and forth with Drew when she says you're out of touch. You are insulting. You have no couth. And you're all like, yeah, but Toya said you like the kiss. You like the tongue. Oh my God. I'm like, Marlo, you just switched up to say you don't believe her. But then now you're saying Toya said you said this. Girl, get out of my face. Like, I don't know why the women on the couch were acting like there's hope for her and Ralph. There is no hope. Why do you guys want to fix toxic relationships? This is a toxic relationship that should not be fixed. Stop that. Because she has, been holding back on expressing the details of her marriage because she wants to protect her kids. But I feel like she is hopeful that Ralph will want to protect their children. Nope. Ralph don't give a fuck at this point. I only believe that Kenya is genuine about how if her and Ralph can get through this and may work it out, because she went through the same thing with Mark. But girl, no. Marriage over. What else happened? Oh, right. Marlo opens up with Ralph reaching out to her that he was hopeful as well. And the look on Drew's face was a pure pissosity. You just got called out of calling someone else's husband and you denied it, but you just admitted that another woman's husband called you. Yeah, Marla, why do you have women's husbands in your contact information? Why do you find it so comfortable to contact these women's husbands? Marla is a snake. Marla is not to be trusted at all. She's very dangerous to be around. Okay? Dangerous. Okay? Okay, so Courtney and Manietta have arrived, and on the opposite side of the couch with Sheree, Marlo, Courtney, and Sonya. A bunch of cackling hens. Like Marlo was the main one talking. Look at those girls. Those broke girls over there. Look at them. They're jealous. It's just like, how old are we? Ain't y'all 50? Well, Sheree and Marlo are 50 years old, but why is it the first thing you want to do? Like, it's like y'all are acting like a bunch of teenagers. Talking about another group of women. Why? That's all you have? Is we're broke? They're jealous of what? Why are they jealous of you, Marlo? Grow the fuck up. Like, this is like everybody on that couch are a bunch of nobodies, except for Sonya. Everybody on the opposite side of the couch with Kandi, Manietta, Drew, and Kenya are somebodies. Okay, they got stuff under their belts to make them what they have. Y'all don't have nothing. Okay, like, ugh. Courtney's definition of being related to Ralph, I think Ralph's dad's sister is married to her uncle or something. So it's like that's not a bloodline relative. That's in a marriage. First of all, didn't you say at one of the podcasts that Ralph's best friend was your cousin, or Ralph's cousin was your best friend, something. Like a bunch of lies. Everybody wants to make it as if Drew is a liar. Everybody has lied on this stage. Sheree, you are the biggest liar ever. Courtney, your top number 2. Marlo, your top number 3. Stein, your top number 4. And Drew is number 5. And King is number 6. Like, I can't. I really can't. Um, Courtney's ready to go in on on Drew, and it's just like, ew. Like, Courtney has been waiting to come after Drew after Ralph told her to. Like, Ralph has been the main one making sure Courtney did exactly what she was supposed to do for her to go after Drew. Okay. Drew, stop throwing things. Everybody has had a lame prop this season. Everybody. For Drew threw that plump, I wanted you to toss it at her. Literally, toss it at her so the juices can spill on her dress so she can get off my damn stage. I wanted you to do that. But it was a ploy because Courtney is desperate to be a peach, but she's a plum. But she's not a plum. She's the seed of a plum. Okay? That's what she is. I don't care about Marlo's story. I said it before. She had sex with Scott Lee, whatever. She's getting her record expunged with the help of Phaedra and Courtney. Phaedra was thrown in for Kandi because we know that Kandi is never going to be around Phaedra ever in life. So we get to the DMs. Why was Kenya not upset about Roy getting into Marlo's DMs than Martell? Because she didn't care. Roy and Marlo dated eons ago. That's why. And it was a mention on a story that Marlo put out. He asked a question. Nobody gave a damn. Like, Ken didn't give a damn. But Sonya, Marlo, and Sheree wanted her to make it an issue. That's why they kept talking about it, because they wanted Ken to feel away. She didn't feel away. Now, I don't even remember what Kenya said, because she was saying a whole bunch of nonsense, which I did not care. I wanted Ken to be like, I don't care. It was a day from a long time ago. It didn't mean nothing. Like, I don't care. So, moving on from that, as far as the DMs with Martell, we all know that Martell's intention was to holler at Kandi or Kenya. She didn't bite. You can miss me with that. Um, why wasn't Roy on the show? Because that wasn't her man. And based off of how you guys have cut off so many scenes with Kenya, we haven't seen it because of y'all. Production is at fault for that. And that's not her man. Okay? She's not in a relationship with him. She's casually dating him. Okay? If he don't want to be on the show, he don't want to be on the show. Moving on. Sheree and her lackluster attempt to be a peacemaker. No, she's the bone collector. Even though she passed the torch to Sonya. But Sheree never addresses anything in real time. No, she don't. She's a confessional gangster. She's always talking outside of her neck in the confessional. And when she's confronted about what she has said, she stutters and lies and acts she never said it, which is the problem everybody has had with her since day one. Sheree never admits the things that she has said, but she wants to hold everybody else accountable. But she's never been held accountable. Miss me. Um, and even if she was to address anything in real time, it could be addressed, but she doesn't move on from it. She brings it up again to have a bigger reaction when it was simply solidified not too long ago. Um, yeah, she holds the title of being a confessional gangster. Say everybody else does it, but you the main one. You the main one who lies. Marlo is the main one who lies. Sign is the main one who lies. And Courtney is the main one who lies. None of y'all ever own up to anything about everything that y'all say. Y'all can admit it or not admit it. I don't care. Um, Sheree is not a friend. Okay? She's not a friend. She's not a friend you confide to. She's not a friend to ask for support because she would never give it in return. When Kenya expected for Sheree to defend her when Kim said, "Is that bitch still alive?" Sheree deflected like always and act like, "What you want me to do? Say you're still alive? You're my friend?" Yes. Knowing that she always says something, "You're my friend." I will never allow for anybody to talk negative to you about you in my presence. But you cannot expect that from Sheree because she'll never do it. That's why you should never have a friend like Sheree. She's selfish. But she'll hold high expectations for you to defend her, but she won't do the same for you. Oh my God. I am tired of the peanut gallery always acting like the things that we see are not the things that we see. Okay? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I really, really do. Because when we got the collusion that Manietta witnessed, everybody was mostly confused about the word that Manietta used, but not the action. Y'all were definitely trying to convince Courtney to not trust Drew, to go after Drew, because y'all want an alliance with Courtney, because she didn't like anybody that you guys don't like. That's why, okay? Like, Courtney was so desperate to be part of the clique anyway. So it's just annoying. It really is. And Sonya, just sit there and be pregnant. Why do you always gotta be someone else's spokesperson? You were the same spokesperson for Marlo when you wanted to defend her by whatever she felt wasn't what Kenny was feeling or wasn't Kenny was interpreting. And she said, "Don't speak for her. I can speak to her." Okay. This is the part where she said it was an unfair categorization of us colluding because we were just talking about who's telling the truth. And that's what I was imitating. I was referencing. Courtney, shut up. Okay? Shut up, shut up, shut up. All right? Like, you can miss me, okay? And because, first of all, Courtney, you're such a fucking liar. Because it's been flipped so many times that you've never said the word bitch. You've never called Drew a bitch. And then you were imitating her. And then you were referencing her. Which one was it? Either way, Drew is the common denominator of who you guys were talking about. That's why I'm like, we're not about to act like this is something new. We're seeing it right in front of our faces. Get the fuck out of my face. Sonya, you laughed when Courtney called Kandi ghetto. You want to say she didn't call her ghetto? She did. She insinuated that when she said whoever Kandi invited was a bunch of ghetto people. And when she checked you and called you out from when you told the story, she said, "Did you defend her?" You lied and backpedaled and said you did, but you didn't. And not only did you do that, Sonya, you allowed for her to get confronted at your husband's party, and you never gave Kandi a heads up about who Courtney is and what Courtney has been saying about Kandi. Fuck out of here. Just pick a side, Sonya. Just pick one. Stop pretending that you want to be friends with Kenya and Kandi when you don't want to. Just pick a side. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And this is what you've always done, Sonya. Ever since your first time being on here, whenever you get called out for what you've done, you always bring up an issue that you've never expressed before and they're out of nowhere. Just like how you felt you were justified for laughing and not defending Kandi was because Kandi was honest with you when she sent that hair flipping scene when Drew was flipping her hair at the reunion. She said, "Girl, that was funny." But you want to say she set the tone for how your friendship has been going because of that? That doesn't make any sense. She was honest with you by telling you it was funny. You were not honest with Kandi when you told her the story about Courtney calling her ghetto and you laughed at it. You were not honest. You backpedaled and you lied. So you can miss me with that. I really hate that whenever they do something and whenever they have the reasoning for what they did, they expect for everybody to just accept it. But when something that they have done to hurt the other person, they look so confused as to why you're feeling like this. So it's like you guys really are out of touch with how you are with other people's feelings and emotions. You guys are all selfish. Manietta is defending her case of calling them hyenas because they were acting like a bunch of hyenas. They were all lying about not admitting that Marlo did slam the door in her face. And Sheree, who posted it, and if you didn't see it, why are you saying something? When you for sure saw it, Sheree, even if you weren't there to see it physically, you watched the show back and you watched Marlo purposefully try to slam the door in Marietta's face. You did. And that's what I don't like. I don't like the gaslighting because that's what everybody on this cast have done, especially Sheree, Marlo, Sonya, and Courtney. They have gaslit almost everybody on this cast. They have. Why are you guys so hard trying to convince? What we see is what we didn't see. We saw Marlo purposely slam that door in Marietta's face. Both you and Sonya were going to bat so hard for Marlo that she never did it. You can miss me with that. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I hate, I hate, I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it. Then we get to the leaking of the video, trying to make it the same thing. Why is it bad that Marlo did it, but not bad for Manietta? Because Manietta didn't send the video to someone outside the show. She sent it to production because it was around the cast that's on the show. Marlo wanted to be messy and send to Latoya. That's the whole point. Okay? Whole point, whole point. And this is the point of Courtney, who has no relevancy of being here. Okay? Because nothing that Drew did warranted Courtney to go after Drew. It was because Ralph told her to. Ralph was instructing and coaching Courtney to go after Drew, waited for the right time to just pounce on her. That's why, okay? The whole thing about her being called a bitch when Drew never did anything to Courtney. Every time Courtney said something, I immediately went to sleep because she has no relevancy to anything. Because what was her purpose of calling Kenya's fall karma? Nothing. Nothing at all. Just pointing out things just to point out things. How Kenya was in the hospital twice. She was cussing out production. What does that have to do with you? What was done to you for you to say that's karma? But everything that Kenya did wasn't anything about you, anything towards you. When you say what goes around comes around, that's usually when something was directed towards you and it bounces back off them. Nothing was done to you for her to fall, for you to say that was karma. Nothing. Because Courtney has taken on everybody else's problems and connected it with what she don't have. An issue, a problem. Because she don't have it. I'm confused. And then when it came down to Kenya's salon, she had a soft opening we saw on Twitter, but she is still under construction. She's adding a second level. So she will be continuing with construction. Don't have an actual date of when her salon will be open, but from that moment on, once construction is done, then her salon will be open full time. Kandi bit off more than she can chew coming into this season because she was going through a lot with her group. Everything was public of what was going on, and she was completely drained, and she was automatically annoyed. And anybody who had a problem with her, she had to smoke for everybody. And it's not that big of a deal for Drew to say she had a crush on Ty, but wanted to make it as if because she's in a movie and she got a lesbian lover, she would play a joke on if I ever was to leave my husband, it'll be for Ty. Girl, be honest. Even if you was not in a movie with a lesbian lover, you would leave Ralph for Ty. Because Ty is a very gorgeous woman, okay? You see how she kept going back to Mimi. And I'm like, girl, I got a crush on Ty. So I don't understand why you would joke about that and not act like it's not what you are really trying to say because that fucking deep, but get out of my face. I'm sorry, Drew. I can't stand you when you do that. You make jokes of what you really want to say, and you shouldn't do that. Then when it came down to Courtney being coached by Ralph, which is the truth, what has Ralph told you? Because every time you are bringing us something, it's been told by Ralph. You don't have no opinions. You have no thoughts about anything because it's all about what he says, okay? And how did Drew feel when it came down to her affair, her alleged affair? That he was very hurt by it and that she was projecting onto him and blah 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 blah. You don't know the first thing about Drew and Ralph. You just met him yesterday, okay? So you can miss me with that. Oh my God, you're lying again, Drew. You're a compulsive liar. That's what you are. Yeah, that's what you are. And Drew had to tell her straight. Don't you ever in your life bring up my son. Keep my son's name out your mouth. Court is antagonizing. Oh, and what are you gonna do, Drew? And what are you gonna do? I have never talked about your child. No, I have not. Yes, you did. Andy said it. Kenya said it. We saw you on camera. When you thought that the cameras weren't rolling, you had a hot mic moment. And you mentioned how she wanted Ralph to adopt her son so she could run off in the sunset with her gay lover. Get the fuck out of my face, Courtney. At that moment, I wanted Drew to take off her shoes and beat the fuck out of Courtney. You're not about to say, and what are you gonna do? And what are you gonna do with her cockeyed mouth? Don't do it. I swear to God. That's do you want me to? Do you want me to? Like, don't antagonize me and dare me by saying what am I gonna do? Because I'm going to put your money where your mouth is. I'm going. Her twisted, cockeyed mouth needs to get out of my face. You are a mother to a grown ass adult. Everybody else on that couch, with the exception of Marlo, has children. And you honestly think what you said was right? What you said was a good thing to say? Get out of my face. And here you are defending Ralph, being a fucking mouthpiece for Ralph by saying, you're trying to prevent his kids from seeing him as a good man and how he's a narcissist. And it's like, he is a fucking narcissist. You are such a fucking pick me. And it's giving, you're more than just cousins. I said in my last review, it's giving, I am the side piece and I want to be the main piece. If you have not been fucking him at this point, you're about to now. Because why would you go so hard for a man you just met? And why did you feel the need to brag about how you've been such a better friend to him in 6 months than Drew has been a wife for the last 9 years? As if this woman has not endured a lot with being with this man. She's had 2 kids for them. 2 kids for this asshole. And let me get on to the Twitter. After she said, we're done, let's stop. No, no, no. She said, I will always defend my children against nasty, evil people. She had hope that Ralph would come on and defend her as well, but no. He had to be mean and spiteful first by saying her battered victim role that she's playing and that I will not be financially responsible for JoJo. He has a daddy, but don't ever disrespect me as a father. Nigga, which one is it? Because if memory serves me correctly, you had to use her having a son in order to pull out this inspiration of this being your guide to being a step parent book. And you giving him your last name. You have raised him since the age of 3. And now all of a sudden you want to remove yourself from ever being financially responsible for him, knowing that that's still your son in a way, even though you haven't legally adopted him, but you have treated him like your son. You have answers to him calling you dad, but that's still not your son. Okay, Ralph. Okay. Get his weak ass away from me. He's a weak nigga. He's not a man, he's a boy. Straight boy, stay boy. Okay? Saying how he loves his kids. I can't tell. I can't tell. Really can't. And that's what's hurtful for all. Like, you've had this inkling about Drew's son this entire time. You've never looked at him as your son. You've never wanted to look at him as your son, but you were willing to give him your last name. You were willing to have him answer you as daddy. You were willing to say, that's my son. But even if I don't adopt him, that's my son. Okay, well, if that's your son, then why won't you adopt him? And how she wants to use this as a ploy to get money out of you. Drew got money. She's an actress who gets royalty checks from every role she's played on. That's so Raven. Okay, step up. The pass. Every role, the game. She will still collect royalty checks from every role she has had up until this point. She don't need your fucking money. Get out of my face, Ralph. You, however, want the benefits of what she gives you, what she offers. Nobody was checking for you, Ralph. Nobody knew who you were when you got on this show. Get out of my face. But on that aspect, I'm done with Courtney. I'm done with Ralph. We're going to deal with his egghead ass next episode. And Courtney. I'm done. But y'all, that's it. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next video, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.